What is Joey's sign? I need to know.
Joey is a Gemini.
He is a Gemini?
Yeah.
I love an evolved Gemini man.
I feel like a lot of times whenever I'm going through life, I think about my mom and how she would go through it or what she would think. I feel like her presence a lot in a lot of the things that I'm doing. Yeah.
Hi everyone. As you can see, I am here in Los Angeles at my brand new studio at Open Mind. When we filmed the first few episodes of StarStruck, my studio was not ready yet, so we filmed at the iconic studios at the Sunset Marquis Hotel in Los Angeles. You're about to watch one of those episodes. Today I'm talking with Kelsey Anderson, reality TV star chosen by Joey on The Bachelor. We get into dating on reality TV, her late mother's message, and so much more. Enjoy! We are here with Kelsey Anderson today. Hello, welcome.
So happy to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you. So Kelsey, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I just got back home from Mardi Gras, so that was a journey.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I think that I have been catching up on sleep the past couple days, but it's been great. I love going to New Orleans, and Mardi Gras is one of my favorite holidays. And then I'm gonna go meet Joey on tour later this week, so I'm excited for that.
But Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Oh, duh. Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wait, that's so fun.
I know. I'm gonna meet him in Austin, and then I'm gonna stay on the tour bus and go to San Antonio with him. So. Yeah, I was joking. I was like, this isn't the tour bus I was expecting to be on,
Right.
whenever I was, maybe One Direction.
Yeah.
Dancing with the Stars.
Tour. Yeah. I love it. Have you guys done any dances together?
No, honestly, Jenna kind of back leads him a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And I am really bad at dancing, so
no, I feel like you guys should you should be on the tour. You guys should do a dance.
He is doing great. I think that if
he
I
is
went
really
up there,
good.
Oh, well, they pulled me up on stage once.
Did
Last
they?
time I came on tour, they pulled me up on stage, and it was
yes.
rough.
No, I bet everyone loved it though.
Yeah,
that's so fun. Mm-hmm. I love a guy that can dance. It's rare. A guy that also just actually enjoys it too. And
I know.
Now
he really
so
enjoys
good at it.
Yeah. And we're ready to start training for our wedding dance.
That's what I was going to ask.
That's the preparation that we got to put in soon.
Your guys' dancer is going to be so much pressure.
I know. Literally. On me, because we all know he's good.
Oh, shit. No, it'll be so cute.
No, I'm pumped for
and
it.
then it'll be ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming? Do you guys have a date?
Not yet.
Okay.
Joey's been saying we need to start, locking in on that. We've just been so busy. And we don't want it to be super stressful. So we're about to start interviewing wedding planners. Yeah, to help us.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, love. Okay, so tell me, what is your relationship like with astrology?
I don't know a whole bunch. My sister's very into it, and so she has talked to me about my moon and my sun or my rising.
Yeah,
I don't know.
all
I know
the above.
the little things,
yes,
but I definitely want to learn more. I think it's super interesting.
Yay!
Yeah.
What is Joey's sign? I need to know.
Joey is a Gemini.
He is a Gemini.
Yeah.
I love an evolved Gemini man.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel give Geminis a hard time.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but he's great.
He's great.
I don't know.
They're great. They're very social and just fun and a good time. And when it's an evolved energy, I just say when they have passion and when they have direction in life and they are using all of their energy towards work or a relationship, then it's they're the best.
No, he really
so smart.
That's one thing about Joey is whenever he's committed to something, he gives it 110%. With our relationship right off after the show and everything, he was giving, I mean, he still does, but especially then, he was giving it 110% with Dancing with the Stars, same way. I just feel that is the type of man he is he's very focused.
I love, and you love that.
Yes, 100%.
Because you are an Aries sun.
Yes.
Okay. So the sun is where we shine. Okay. It's where we feel our best. It's where we feel confident and happy. And Aries is actually exalted when it's in the sun. Okay. Leo, the sign Leo, it's ruled by the sun. It's at home there. But Aries is extra powerful.
Okay.
So an Aries sun is someone who's confident. They're very noticeable. You're magnetic. Oh. And also we'll get to Pluto. But Aries suns, they just have this natural shine. They're not this natural light to them. And they are ruled by Mars, so they're fast and there's action and they're competitive. Yeah. So I love that. Yeah, when you said the competitive dating show, watch out because Mars has to be doing stuff all the time. Aries suns, it's like an Energizer bunny. They have all this natural energy.
Yeah.
And by the way, okay, so the way that astrology works is we have all our planets and they're in different signs, but then they also live in an area of your birth chart. And yours is living in your 5th house. And the 5th house, it's the house of motherhood.
Okay.
Are you interested in being a mom?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The sun is our identity and it's where we shine. And so when the sun is in the 5th house, we usually see someone who has a strong identity with motherhood or they have a strong desire to become a mom.
Yeah.
Like that might be really important to you.
It is, yeah.
I love that. Good.
Yeah.
I was excited to ask you about that.
Right. Yeah. I also I want to maybe have birth one kid, but I want to adopt a bunch of kids. That's always been something that I wanted to do.
I can confirm that your birth chart suggests that because you have Jupiter in your 4th house. So the 5th house is where we give birth. That's literal children.
Yeah.
But the 4th house, if we're going over a little, that's the actual home, our physical 4 walls, also our family, the family we grew up with, and then the family that you'll create on your own.
Yeah.
But Jupiter is the planet of foreign travel. It's the planet all about expanding your literal self and getting out of your comfort zone. Yeah. So having Jupiter in the 4th house it usually manifests as, we can see it as adoption, bringing in children from different cultures and different backgrounds, and also as many as you want, because Jupiter expands things. Jupiter is the more the merrier. It wants to just continue to bless you.
Right.
I love that you are sharing that, because Jupiter in the 4th house also can look it's very, what is the word? Otherworldly, and it can feel very expansive. You could even have multiple homes. You could have a home in a different country or a different land.
Love that.
So you get to really expand your home life in this lifetime.
That's so cool that it says that in there.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
I know. Jupiter-Venus conjunction is very likable. It's a placement that people want to be around you. They like your energy. It's just charismatic and pretty, and it feels good and warm. And because it's in your 4th house of the home, this can show up in home decor, interior design, or it can just show up in hosting parties or
I love hosting parties.
Good. Yeah. It is that more the merrier, and that is where you feel that's kind of the sweet spot of your chart, honestly, is the home. Aww. So a lot of identity within the role of being a mother, and then also just within your physical home. The 4th house is where we have Christmas mornings and Thanksgiving dinners and traditions. So you have a lovely 4th house.
Aww, yeah. Awesome. I love traditions too. So.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I also, Jupiter being in the 4th, foreign travel. So adoption is big, but then even Venus, relationships. So having that there too. And I don't know, I just feel you and Joey being able to lean into that energy together. And then traveling, that'll be a big way that you guys bond with your children, is traveling and seeing the world.
That's so funny. Joey also he's always well, I don't want to have too many kids because he wants to travel with them. He's that's gonna be really hard if we have 10 kids, bringing them on a plane or something.
You're Ally actually said that we can do it.
She said we could do it. We just have to get our own plane.
We just have to get our own plane, literally, yes. But we can go wherever we want.
Right.
I love that. Okay, so back to the big 3 in astrology. It's the sun, moon, and rising. So you're an Aries sun. You're shining. You're bold, confident, leader. 5th house. Also, the 5th house does rule children, but it also rules, I call it the entertainment house. It is where we see LA and New York City and movies and music and performing and sports and fashion. It's the fun house. So because your sun is there, not surprised also that you shine, your time on TV, and that you've been pulled to LA in this lifetime, that was kind of always, it's somewhere that's natural to you, even if it doesn't feel like it.
No, I do love LA. I love New York as well. I was wanting to move to New York originally, but then we came to LA because Joey was on Dancing with the Stars, and then we were wait, the weather here's great.
So good, yeah.
And we fell in love with LA as well. Yeah.
That's cool. I do, the 5th house, you can, with the Jupiter in the 4th, you can live in all of the above.
Here we go.
And then, moon sign. So the moon is very important. It's our emotions and our mental health. You have a Capricorn moon.
Okay.
Love. Okay, I'm a Capricorn sun.
I'm excited.
I'm a Capricorn sun, and Capricorn's an earth sign. So it is all about, think about planting a seed, watering it, and nurturing it. And it likes to build something really beautiful and rich. Emphasis on the rich. Capricorn, it's hard work. It likes to work, but then it likes to play also. So it's all about doing a good job. It values things like legacy, and it takes pride in work. So having a Capricorn moon, there's a need for you in this lifetime to feel really aligned with the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
And you have to love the work that you're doing because as a Capricorn moon, like work is just really important to you.
Yeah.
Again, with the whole traditions also and legacies, like Capricorns are really into that stuff. Like they like that. Think Christmas.
Yeah. It's funny because, I mean, like right now I'm doing like more social media and stuff, but I keep telling Joey, I'm like, I want to have like a bigger purpose in my work. And I feel like I want it to be more like rewarding and fulfilling. So it's funny that you say that too, because I mean, before all this, I was working in construction project management and I really,
oh my gosh. Wow.
I loved like my career and what I was doing. And I feel like it was fulfilling and rewarding in some sense, but I'm still trying to find like my niche right now in this role of what I'm doing now in life. But I definitely feel like I want to, work harder and find like a bigger purpose in my work.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you with the Capricorn. It's like we can feel so like out of alignment if we don't love what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also, so your moon is living in your second house. The second house is the house of, I can never say this word, entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial,
yeah.
Right?
So CEOs, like owning your own business. So I do think it's also real estate lives in the second house. It's all about like the material, like things that we can own.
Yeah.
And so because you have this Capricorn moon, like a need to work, and then it's living in the second house, it might be around maybe owning property, which we already know because again, with your fourth house being so activated, I think that could be the case. But owning property, selling property in some way, doing construction, things like that. But also just, being able to make your own money, like that feels really good to you.
Yeah.
Okay, rising sign.
Okay.
This is that's where that birth time matters so much because this is where you entered the world. At the exact moment you were born, you entered and you were a Sagittarius. Ooh. This is the first energy that you've ever met or that you came into contact with. And the rising sign, I think of it as our natural kind of just our natural drive through life. It's our motivation and it's how we move through the world. Sagittarius is a fire sign like Aries, and Sagittarius rules foreign travel, higher education, philosophy, spirituality, belief systems. Like Sagittarius, I always think of like an old wise professor.
Yeah.
Like it's super smart, but it loves to learn and it loves to travel and it loves to just experience different things. Totally. So again, just more confirmation too, I think, with adopting and just having like literally broadening your horizon and having even traveling, of course. You might live in a different country one day. Yeah. Even just The Bachelor.
I grew up half my childhood in Germany, too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. It's usually very literal. Sagittarius risings are usually born in a different country than they live in currently. Or they have just like multiple degrees and they're just like continuing the education program. Yeah. But they're very smart. So and I was just thinking, it's like even with The Bachelor and just how like that had to have just felt like such a whirlwind. But like Sagittarius risings always say yes to opportunities. Yeah. Even if it's scary. It's like there's something that probably excites you. You're like, yeah, this feels right.
Right. I love always like pushing like my boundaries a little bit, like out of my comfort zone and like making sure that I'm like exploring new things and trying out new things because it's like you never really know what you're going to like or don't like unless you try it, even if it sounds a little scary.
Yeah. Good. When The Bachelor, like when that opportunity came up, were you like, did you have like a good feeling? Were you like, I feel like this is going to change my life? Like, did you know?
I went on to it. Okay, so I went through the whole interview process. I didn't really think that I was going to get on because it's a long interview process. And then once they finally asked me like, hey, we want you to come to LA for it. Then all of a sudden I was like, okay, wait 1 second. Let me think about this. Right. And I talked over with like some of my friends and everything. And then I finally decided like, okay, you know what? I think that I'm just going to put myself out there and do it. And I never really thought that it was going to change my life the way that it did. Honestly, I just went on because I was like, this is a really cool experience. And, it could happen, it could not, but I'm just going to go into it with an open mind and see what happens.
Love that. That's just so great advice. Such great advice for like everyone is like, you never really know. So
I was like, I'm probably going to go home night one. I kept telling all my friends, they were like crying whenever they were saying bye to me. I was like, guys, chill out. I'll be back in a week.
That's so crazy. Oh my God. So something that I found fascinating with your birth chart is a placement with Pluto. It's in your first house. And the first house, that's where you were born. That's where that Sagittarius rising lives. But it is everything about you. The first house is the way that you dress, the way that you show up, your energy, your personality. It's all about you. And you have Pluto sitting right on your ascendant. And Pluto is an intense planet. Like Pluto it's a powerful planet. It is literally the planet of power. And when Pluto is in the first house, we see people tend to have a lot of like eyes on them, a lot of success, but they're just like polarizing. Like there's Marilyn Monroe had it. So that's like, that's a like super like really good example of Pluto in the first house. And it's interesting because Pluto doesn't necessarily like to be seen. Like it doesn't really, it knows that it has this intense power, but it doesn't necessarily like know that. But at some point in lives, usually it like shines through. I think having Pluto in your first house, we saw it even just on the show, like you're just, and even just talking to you now, like when you walk into a room, it's almost like you feel your energy without even having to know you or see you or anything. Like it's just powerful. And people love Pluto in the first house. It's also really just captivating. And it's like, well, how does she do that? So that was something that I noticed first in your chart where I was like, cool.
Yeah,
I think
so cool.
It stands the test of time, Pluto in the first house. Like you're really meant to do big things in this lifetime. Also, I will be honest, Pluto goes through a lot of transformations. Pluto is not the easiest planet. It's kind of like, okay, you can handle hard things with Pluto in the first house. And so it puts you through, you know, whoever, the universe, puts us through harder life lessons so that you can evolve and transform.
Right.
And then heal yourself. So then therefore you can heal and help others. Basically.
Oh, that's so sweet. I feel like definitely in like college, like I went through a hard time and I feel like it was very like transformative for me, like where like if I didn't like lose my mom when I did, like I feel like I wouldn't have grown as much as I have. And I feel like it's made me like look at things from such a different perspective and way more compassionate for people, like to people. And I feel like that definitely, that hard time has made me like such a better person and a bigger person.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. You were 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were 19. I mean, so that would have been, well, either way, Pluto was on top of your moon when your mom passed.
Wow.
And what's weird, when my dad passed, because my dad passed away when I was 11, and Pluto was on top of my sun. Which the sun represents the dad and the moon represents the mom. Now, I do want to say, if you're looking at your chart and you're seeing that, like, that does not mean that your parents are going to die. But it is wild how in astrology sometimes there can be some very literal, like, you know, with Pluto on top of Kelsey's moon and going through that experience, Pluto is the planet of death. And so it can be intense and it can be like, okay, we're going through a transformation. But that is obviously not always the case for everyone. I've seen plenty of people's charts that have, you know, Pluto goes over their moon and that doesn't happen. But in this case for Kelsey, like, because you're such a Plutonian person, because you have a strong identity with Pluto, that like the lessons that Pluto puts you through feels like shit. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like we'd rather not go through that. But Pluto had a bigger lesson and picture in mind for you. And so somehow, and I don't even think that, you know, there's still so much life left for you that it's like you're now, and this is why I love astrology, by the way, for if you've ever lost someone really close to you, astrology helps because your mom is not gone. Like, she's just not a physical body anymore. But like, we can still see her. You're a Capricorn moon. What was she? Do you know what her sign was?
Her birthday was Christmas Eve.
Oh my gosh. Okay. She is a Capricorn sun and she's a Virgo moon. And okay, two things. You are a Capricorn moon. Your mom is a Capricorn sun. I tend to find that we embody one of our mom's big three. So the fact that your mom was a Capricorn sun and then gave birth to a Capricorn moon, and the moon represents the mother, it's like very literal. And so every Capricorn trait you really learn from your mom. Like, you really, that's kind of the gift. And she is wanting you, by the way, so she's activating your second house of career. So like, when we were talking about like all of the stuff that you want to do, she's like totally supporting you. She's like, yeah, like you can do big things, like whatever you want to do. Also, maybe there's something too within the home that you grew up in, or like having some type of home or room or something, an altar, I don't know, just something that like pays tribute to her in some way. Like, she's kind of in the house with you. Okay, and then her moon sign is Virgo, but it's on top, like literally right on top of your North Node, which the North Node in astrology represents our destiny and our purpose. So the fact that her moon is literally on top of your North Node tells me you are an extension of her, and she is now passed on to you. Like, it's like you now get to go through life, but you're bringing her along with you and you guys are serving your purpose like together.
Yeah. No, I feel like we always have been told how similar we are. I mean, I look the most like her of all my siblings as well. All my other siblings like kind of take more after my dad. My sister Taylor kind of looks like my mom as well, but I've always like looked the most like her. I went to my grandma's funeral recently and like all of my mom's like friends were there as well. And they were like, you literally look like like Denise whenever we knew her, like whenever she was younger. So that was really special. But I feel like definitely have the same energy. Like we're very like full of energy, full of life. We care about people a lot and love like the people that we're close to a lot. She was like the best mom. She had a harder childhood, so she always wanted to make sure that like we never had to like go through anything that she did. So she worked very, very hard. She joined the military whenever she was really young because she didn't really have a whole lot of options, and she worked really, really hard in that. Became Soldier of the Year, like got awarded in Washington DC, all of these things, and then became an engineer, tech on Fort Polk, and she always worked really hard.
Emphasis, guys, on the Capricorn. Sun right there. Like again, they're dedicated and like they will become the best at anything. They are ruled by Saturn, which is all about mastery. So it's like, of course, Soldier of the Year. Like, of course.
And her energy, like, and anytime she walked in the room, like she always just like made everyone feel better. That was just the type of person she was.
And that's how you feel. So that totally, and just the moon and the North Node conjunct, like having that placement is just so, you guys are, what is the, like telepathic? I'm sure you guys experience that. And like now that she's not here physically, this is where I love astrology, because she is still showing up all the time in your birth chart. But like she's with you every day. And I know that sounds so simple, but trust me, like the moon on the North Node is like you can ask her for guidance still. Like you can still, you can pay attention to dreams and to like synchronicities and things like that, because like she is coming through.
I feel like a lot of times whenever I'm going through life, I think about my mom and like how she would go through it or like what she would think. So I definitely still, I feel like her presence a lot in a lot of the things that I'm doing.
Wow. Do you think she would like you being in LA?
Yeah, I think she would.
That.
Yeah.
She was born in California.
Yeah. And I think that she always,
cool.
like my dad retired in Leesville, Louisiana, which is a smaller town, but I think she always wanted us to like get out of there, So I think she would definitely be happy that I'm not, there anymore.
The moon on the North Node. The North Node, by the way, for you, is in your 10th house. So the 10th house is the house of fame. Okay. It's the house of, it's the stage of the birth chart. So it's actually where we see like world leaders. It can be politics, it can be celebrities, but it's someone with a platform. And you having your North Node there, that actually tells us that like you have never really mastered that area before in any other lifetimes. Like it's the idea that in this lifetime, though, you are meant to master that. So you are going to be pushed to get out of your comfort zone. Thank God you're Sagittarius rising. You can start to see how it all like fits together. But the North Node, it's literally your soul is being guided in this lifetime to go bigger. And because the moon is on the North Node, it's totally your mom now too, being like, okay, what's next? Like, let's keep going. And like, you have so much to share and so many gifts to give the world. Do you have any questions or anything that you're curious about?
I don't think so. It's all super cool.
Isn't it fun? I know. So I have your chart here. You started the Bachelor experience September 2023. On that day, September 1st, the sun was in Virgo.
Okay.
You can see it like almost right on top of your North Node.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the purpose point. And again, that's the 10th house of literally being seen by the world. And the sun being right on top of your North Node is like, okay, it's time to go. Like we're expanding, we're doing something, we're stepping into new territory here. And it also signals there's going to be eyes on you and just a new experience in general. So I found that really interesting. And then also, by the way, the sun was opposite Venus, which is the planet of love.
Oh my
so
gosh.
That even ties into like the theme around love and romance and having to like be vulnerable and be open. The planets were totally on your side.
That's crazy. I also like was really surprised going into the whole process and everything how I felt like it was kind of like easy for me. Like I didn't get jealous. Like I didn't, I was able to like take things as they were and like go through it very level headed. And I was really surprised because sometimes I can get jealous, but through this whole thing, I've been very like chill and like just, able to take it for what it was. And it all, turned out fabulous.
That's why I kind of asked you too. I was like, when that started, like, did you have a good feeling about it? Because having anything touch our North Node,
Yeah.
it's so out of our control. It's it's not a planet, the North Node, but it's a point that represents our purpose and destiny. And so we don't really have control. It's fate.
Yeah.
It's destiny.
Right.
It's very serendipitous.
Yeah.
So like when anything touches the North Node, there is this like deeper knowing and this kind of vibe of like, oh, well, like whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
That is literally how I felt going through it. I was like, if I go home night one, if I go home this night, whatever, like that's just what it's supposed to be. And I didn't ever feel like a whole lot of like, I don't know, anxieties over it or anything like that. Like I just kind of took it for what it was and went through the whole process being like, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. But if it is, like that would be great.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Because like that experience, I'm sorry, but like I can't, like from a girl, like, from being our age and like having to share. I mean, even like my little time on Vanderpump Rules with James, like I was not comfortable doing like sharing relationships is very vulnerable,
totally.
And you have Venus in your 4th house. So there is something where it's like, there has to be an element of privacy. Like you guys don't get to know everything or see 100%. Everything.
Yeah.
So it is that like you have to be vulnerable and open and it's scary. Yeah. But like I love that you just let it happen.
100%.
That was your destiny.
Yeah.
Transiting sun was on top of your natal node. And your natal sun or transiting North Node was on top of your natal sun. So from every direction, like you were in alignment with the universe to be seen and also just have confidence too. Like even just like what you were saying about like, I just was like, this is what it is. Like, this is me. If you like me, great. If not, fine.
Right.
Like you were really, Isn't that cool?
That is crazy.
I know. And if you were like to see me and like, if I didn't know you and I looked at your chart, I would be like, you're going to have a lucky time. Like you're going to do well. Like it's going to overall be a good experience because it is something that's not forced at all. Mm-hmm. Like it's quite the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, universe.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's crazy.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Okay. So we looked at all of your like personal planets.
Okay.
And your natal birth chart, which by the way, that's never changing. So, and if you ever have questions, you can just text me. Like that's your birth chart.
Yeah.
But the current astrology for 2025 is quite chaotic. It's honestly just like, it's a big year. A lot of planets are switching signs. So there's just a lot happening. But for you personally, okay, so Pisces. Pisces is really the star of the show. Pisces is getting a lot of attention right now. Mm-hmm. And we know that Pisces rules your 4th house of family and home. And over the next 3-ish years, we're going to have eclipse season happening.
Okay.
And whenever you hear that, if you're like, oh, there's an eclipse, just know, okay, this is a growth moment for me within my family life, within where I'm living. Over the next 3 years, you're going to probably move. You're going to probably buy a home. You're probably going to have a baby.
Oh my gosh.
You're ready. Also, if you're not ready, it's something too that you can just like think about. It's like family planning or like, okay, this house is beautiful. Like, this could be the nursery. Right. What color would we paint it? Like things like that.
Totally.
But also,
and I think that whenever Joey and I do buy a house, it's going to have all of that, thought in it. And we definitely are going to probably buy a house within the next 3 years. Which is
I know. It's crazy. And it's also on top of, so Pisces, you have Jupiter and Venus. So it's going to, wedding is also very big with that.
Yeah, that'll be in the next 3 years for sure.
Yeah. See, it's very on brand. It's very literal right now. Like the astrology isn't tricky for you. It's all very good because it's activating really lovely planets, which is Jupiter, which is foreign travel and expansion, and then Venus, which is romance and love. Yeah. So, Aww. So over the next 3 years, there will be shifts, but good things. I don't think you might feel, the only thing with Jupiter is we can feel overwhelmed and we can feel like, oh my God, this is too much of a good thing. So it could almost feel like maybe there's too many people we want to invite, or there's too much attention, or I can't fit everybody in, or that type of overwhelming like love, literally. But that's your biggest problem.
Yeah.
Well, not bad.
Not a bad
problem. Not a bad problem. Joey is a Gemini.
Yes.
So guess what sign rules your 7th house of marriage?
Gemini.
Yeah. So good.
So funny.
He's literally activating the part of your chart that deals with marriage and love.
That's
so
crazy.
It's quite perfect.
Yeah.
And also Jupiter is in Gemini until June 9th of this year. And so even for Joey, having luck with Dancing with the Stars and having, his whole identity, because he's a Gemini sun, where we shine, Jupiter on the sun is like, we're expanding your identity. We're putting you out into the world. And then also marriage and wedding, like it's just all good things. And so, I feel like the moment that you guys are in right now is just so magical and beautiful. And then it's going to go into Cancer on June 9th. And it's still, the magic is still going to be there. Remember, Pisces is still activated for you. But just like up until June, I think Joey himself personally might be experiencing some like good opportunities.
Yeah.
Or some big moments that are expanding him.
That's so exciting for him. Go,
I
Joey.
know. Because it's in your 7th house. So that's also like, it's a win-win for you too. Like it's, the 1st house is all about you. 7th house, that's our cosmic +1.
Yeah.
And it's all about like finding the balance.
Right.
So.
That's awesome. Yay.
I love it. I know you guys are very compatible.
My sister, she looked up Joey's birth chart whenever she found out that we were engaged, and she was like telling us how we were compatible as well.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
She didn't. I feel like I should have asked more about it, but she definitely was like, "Let me make sure this is all good."
I love. Yes, sister.
Yes, I know. Taylor. Shout out to Taylor.
Shout out to Taylor. Yes, that is a good sister right there. And also love that we both agree that they're super compatible. Yeah, it's so cool. I wonder what his moon and rising is. See, we can go so much deeper.
She looked into that. She was like, where is he born? Like, what time was he born? Like, all that stuff.
So what we did for you, if we had that for Joey, then we could do a composite chart or a synastry chart. So then we can like see all of the things.
Yeah.
But honestly, sometimes I find it doesn't have to be that.
Right.
It can be more simple. It doesn't have to be so overcomplicated. Right. Totally. And like, let's just see how we activate each other and what's coming up for us. So. Family, home, career success.
That's awesome.
Maybe you're moving to Italy. Right? I don't think so, but like maybe you're visiting,
maybe our wedding, because we talked about possibly. I mean, we don't know for sure where we're gonna have it.
Yeah,
but part of us were like, well, maybe we should do a destination wedding, so it kind of helps it. You know, to not have a crazy big wedding. Yeah. And not have to invite and worry about inviting so many people. Yeah. Because I know we both have very big families, a lot of friends. Yeah. But at the same time, we don't want our wedding to be just like for everybody else. It's like we really want it to be for us and not feeling like we're like having to, you know, like, I don't know, go around the room and entertain everybody.
God, I know.
But yeah, we thought about possibly Italy, but we are still trying to narrow it down right now.
That's so exciting. Yeah. Jupiter foreign travel. Yeah. Higher. See? So I feel like, explore, even if you guys are like going and visiting too and like seeing all
definitely
the places.
Honeymoon will be in Italy, southern Italy.
Love.
But
wait, I'm so excited for you. It's not going to be by June 9th though.
No,
your wedding.
No.
But planning right now.
We're planning right now. It's probably going to be like spring 2027. At first we were thinking 2026, but we were like, wait, that's actually so soon. That's like a year.
Yeah, it's gonna fly right.
Yeah, and so we were like, we need a little more time.
Good for you guys. I love that. Like, what's the rush? We have forever.
We got engaged in 2 months. Like, what is the rush? We already rushed into that. We can chill.
That's so true. That's such a good point. Yeah. It's like, actually, now we're gonna move so slow.
So slow, right?
You are about to go through your Saturn return.
Okay.
Which is a big deal in astrology. That's where we do our like real adulting, real growing up. Saturn, we call him Big Daddy Saturn in astrology. He is all about like lessons and hard work. And when we go through our Saturn return, it's absolutely the feeling of like, okay, you are a real adult now. You kind of cut ties with your childhood self a bit and you kind of step into mature Kelsey. And I feel like for you, I'm not that worried about it because you actually have Saturn conjunct your sun in the 5th house in Aries. And I think it's going to it might feel a little bit like you're doing some self-work, like literally maybe like your identity and who you are as a person. But I feel like we're always doing that kind of stuff anyway.
Right.
It might feel like a little bit of pressure. It could feel at times like, oh, I need to show up and be this version of me, even though I want to go like paint at home. Like it might feel like that at times, but trust that you are just going to be going through lessons that are here to like propel you forward as an adult, which I know doesn't sound super like fun and sexy, but like it is. And I think for you, it's going to be very literal. Your wedding, getting married, children, Saturn conjunct the sun in the 5th house, that there is going to be a lot of, I think, planning and maybe even like talking to different adoption agencies or like learning about the process. Like Saturn is the master. Rules Capricorn. So like you're no stranger to that because you're a Capricorn moon. So it's just going to be getting you focused in like a different area of your life. Yeah. But all good things.
Hey,
I'm actually going through mine right now.
Yeah.
And it's about to be, I'm going to pass it on to you because it's about to be out of Pisces and go into Aries. And it has not been bad. Yeah. It has been like big life changes, and it's been but all good things. If you vibe with Saturn, and again, you're a Capricorn moon, so like you're up for the challenge. I think it can be really, really good. Like a lot of people do get married during them, even though they say you should wait till after your Saturn return. But I think if you wait till 2027, that's actually like kind of perfect because
Really?
that it's like, I'd have to look to see where Saturn would be in your chart. But I like that you're not doing it like right on the day that Saturn enters Aries.
Yeah.
That might be like, you would just be overwhelmed. Also, Saturn in Aries is super short. Like I think it actually, you might even be completing your Saturn return before you get married.
How long is it?
So mine was like 3 years.
3 years. Oh my gosh.
They can be long, but I don't want to say. I'd have to look it up, which I could do. But people do get married all the time during Saturn returns. And I think, again, it's going to be just you tapping into this like more mature version of yourself.
Totally.
Yeah. And maybe becoming a mother.
You
love
know
it.
why it's so crazy. I'm like, I feel 17. Like that doesn't feel right.
I do too. I know, right? It's so scary.
Crazy.
So during my Saturn return, I had to think, because it was going through my first house of self. So it was a lot of like, what do I value? Like, what do I want in life? And just even like talking about it with my therapist, because I've always just like pushed that stuff away. Like, I don't want to talk about that. And then during your Saturn return, something happens where you're like, okay, I guess I have to address that elephant in the room. Like, what do I want? But it sounds like you already know what you want. I feel like your Saturn return is just going to be you stepping into like this next chapter.
Yeah.
Awesome. All good things. Venus. Okay, so because you have Venus in Pisces, by the way, that is an exalted placement, meaning if Venus could pick any zodiac sign to live in, it picks Pisces. Like Venus in Pisces is so beautiful, so magical, so intuitive. Always trust your intuition. Pisces is it's a water sign, so it just feels everything. So I love that you, by the way, just have so much fire, but then you have like your Pisces, Jupiter, Venus. So it's like you have this soft, very sensitive side to you too. But it's really only for those close, because again, it's in your 4th house of family and home and foundation. So it's like Joey gets to see it and your family gets to see it. But there is this very sweet, sensitive side to you too, but then you have the like feisty fun fire. But in terms of, okay, so Venus is our style. It's actually, I look at Venus as like where we could learn about style, or like how we could kind of tap into our style a little bit more. Having Venus in Pisces, it's very like whimsical, but then your Sagittarius rising is more fiery, bold, hair, like it's making a statement. But then you have this like whimsical, pretty, soft Pisces and Venus that just wants to feel super feminine and like floating. It's like I just imagine you like floating down the aisle, like whatever you wear, you're floating.
It is funny because trying on the dresses, I was like, I thought that I would want maybe a more fitted dress, but I kind of really liked the more like flowy and like just like almost like ethereal, like beautiful.
Yes, that ethereal is the word for Pisces Venus.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they always get their fairy tale. They do. I know. Isn't that cute? They're like the hopeless romantic, Pisces and Venus.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
I love it. But then like Aries isn't, you know, and then Capricorn moon's hella independent. So like you have a mix. You're like very independent.
Yeah, every relationship I've been in, I've been very, I feel like also independent, where it's like, I love that like Joey and I are like that, where we support each other and we like rely on each other, but we also like to have our own things and not be like, you know, just connected at each other all the time.
Totally.
And I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to, with us being in a public relationship, sometimes that's hard for like people that watch us to be like, wait, why aren't y'all together right now? Why aren't y'all together right now? And it's like, well, we're doing our own thing still. Like
that's what I was going to bring up with Pluto. So Pluto in the 1st house can draw, it can attract a lot of attention. When we attract a lot of attention, it's good and bad, right? And so people oftentimes, you're like a mystery to people. And it's like they see you, they feel your power, they love you, and they just want to figure you out. But it's like not everybody gets to like, you know, see the real me or all of those close parts. But having Pluto in the 1st house can draw in basically a lot of like what is it, like backbone, like you having to kind of protect yourself and your mental health and your energy, because Pluto is just going to be throwing all of these different kind of like energies your way. So like with social media, I feel like, I mean, I remember with Dancing with the Stars, like looking at your TikToks and just seeing comments and being like, that's so fucked up. Like the things that people would say, like when it's like, he's literally doing his job and like, she's a professional dancer. Like
I do feel like I've gotten better at like, I don't know, just kind of being able to take those and like laugh at them and not take them so seriously, or even seeing them and being like, okay, I get why maybe they're asking these questions. Like we're in a public relationship and they're just wondering these things, and I try and look at it maybe from their perspective a little bit more. But then also sometimes I'm just like, these aren't worth it.
The way that you handle it though is so good. Yeah. Like because you handle it with like grace, but like the perfect amount of sass. And you're like, okay, let me explain this to you guys. Right. I'll hold your hand while I say it. But we're great. Yeah, exactly. It's all good over here.
Right.
Which is I think at the end of the day, astrology is great. Whenever you feel heavy emotions, I like to turn it into the birth chart to be like, okay, how do I nurture myself? How do I get through this? For you, it looks like, again, the home, decorating, spending time at home, having traditions within the home, and then also the work that you do. Like the moon is really where we nurture ourselves. And you have the moon in the second house, which is really concerned with doing meaningful, good work. Yeah. And then also like enjoying life. Like it wants to eat the fine food and drink the fine wine and like enjoy. Yeah. So you get to do all that. Yay. You get to have nice things.
That's awesome.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I feel like I've learned so much.
Okay, good. It's not overwhelming?
No, I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for my sister to watch too.
I know. I'm excited too. You have to tell me what she says. You have to give me your number.
Yes,
we'll
I know.
About the planets.
No, literally.
Yes.
She would love that.
How old is she?
She is 29.
That's my age.
28. Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah.
So is she 96?
She's 96.
Okay, me too.
January.
Me too.
Yeah.
January 13th.
She's January 30th.
So she's an Aquarius.
Yeah.
Love. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Hi. What's her name?
Taylor.
I was going to say Tiffany. Hi, Taylor. Texty girl.
Right. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.